Right now, somewhere in this world, you are sitting in the dark, not the comfortable dark, not the dark of sleep and rest and quiet, the other dark, the dark that breathes, the dark that has weight, that presses down on your chest like a stone altar, like something ancient is being performed on your body without your consent. You haven't slept, or you've slept too much, because waking means remembering, and remembering means carrying it all over again, and you're so tired of carrying. Maybe they left, maybe they lied, maybe the body you trusted turned traitor, disease, collapse, betrayal from the inside out. Maybe you watched something you built with your bare hands come apart in a single season like it was made of paper all along. And the worst part, the part no one talks about, is the silence after, the silence where hope used to be loud. You've heard the whispers. You know the voice I mean, not a voice you tell anyone about. The one that comes at 3 in the morning when the defenses are down and the wounds are open. It doesn't shout, it whispers, you're done, you've given enough, no one would blame you, just let it go, just stop. You've stood at the edge of yourself and looked down. God did this to you on purpose, not because He forgot you, not because He was distracted by someone else's prayer. He looked at the full roster of souls, millions, uncountable, and He passed over most of them. He gave them smooth roads, quiet seasons, manageable griefs. He let them live gently. And then He looked at you, and He chose the crushing weight, He chose the fire, He chose the particular shape of pain that fits only your frame, that breaks along the exact lines of everything you were most afraid to lose. You want to know why? Because He's not sentimental. Because love, real love, divine, ancient, uncompromising love is not soft. It is a forge. And a forge is not a warm place. A forge is where iron screams. He passed over the others because He already knew the answer. They would have broken, not in the dramatic way, not in ways they'd recover from. They would have dissolved quietly, permanently. The grief would have entered them and never left. The loss would have become their identity, and they'd have worn it like a burial shroud for the rest of their days. He spared them. He did not spare you. Do you understand what that means? It means He saw something in the architecture of your soul, something load-bearing, something that does not exist in most, and He said, this one can hold it. Not easily, not without cost, not without the kind of pain that leaves marks that never fully fade, but hold it. Yes, most people get the life they can survive. You got the war you were made for. Now let me tell you what the forge actually does to you, because it isn't clean. It doesn't feel like selection. It feels like abandonment. It feels like you've been handed a cross too large for your frame and left at the bottom of a hill with no explanation, no escort, and the people you thought would help you already gone. There is a moment, maybe you've been there, maybe you're there now, where you rage at God, where you stop being polite about it, where something raw and volcanic rises up and you throw it all at heaven with both hands. Why? Why me? What did I do? What was the purpose? Answer me. The silence after that prayer is not absence. It is pressure, the pressure of a hand on iron. You bargain, you negotiate, you offer smaller versions of yourself in exchange for relief. Take this much of me, just let the rest go free. But the fire doesn't negotiate. The refiner doesn't pull the metal early because the metal is uncomfortable. The refiner waits until everything that was never iron is gone, until what remains cannot be anything other than what it was always meant to become. There are parts of you that have already died in this process. False selves, the version of you that needed approval, the one that believed safety was something you could earn by being good enough, the one that thought love was conditional on your performance. The fire killed them. You grieved them. You didn't even know they were illusions until the smoke cleared and they were gone. What remains is harder, quieter, stranger. What remains does not flinch the same way anymore. And now we arrive at the part where your blood either runs cold or catches fire. You have been asking, why me? That was the wrong question. The right question, the question of someone who has finally understood what they are, is why not me? Why not me to carry what others can't? Why not me to survive what would shatter them? Why not me to walk through the valley, not around it, not over it, through it, with the shadow pressing in from both sides, and come out the other end still standing, still breathing, still here? You survived things that had no business being survivable. You carried weight that should have folded you. You stood in fires that were designed mathematically to reduce you to nothing, and you are still here, scarred, crooked in places where things healed wrong, quiet in ways that used to be loud. But here, do you know what that makes you? Not a victim, not a cautionary tale, not someone to pity. It makes you dangerous. In the best and truest sense of the word, you are the person others look at and cannot quite explain. Why are you still standing? Why haven't you quit? Why does something in your eyes look like it has been to places they've never been and returned with something they can't name? Because you have. Because you did, because God broke you and rebuilt you from the inside in a language most people will never learn to speak. You carried burdens in your chest that would stop other hearts. You know losses that would have written other people's endings. And yet, so here is your command, not an invitation, a command: stand up. Not because the pain is gone, it isn't. Not because the road gets easier from here. I don't know that it does. Stand up because you are what happens when God refuses to waste suffering. You are what happens when the fire burns long enough and the iron holds. You are the rare and terrible result of a process most people will never be asked to endure. Take the pain, every scar, every broken place that healed crooked, every night that felt eternal, every morning that tasted like ash and iron. Take it all and wield it, not as a wound you show people, as a weapon you carry forward, as proof, cold, unshakable, permanent proof that what was sent to end you became the very thing that made you impossible to destroy. The darkness that followed you, it was never stronger than you. It was preparing you. The weight that crushed you, it was never meant to bury you. It was building you. Walk forward now. Walk forward knowing that God does not waste chosen vessels. Walk forward knowing that what you've survived has already marked you for something the easy lives will never touch. The darkness bows to those it could not break. You are still here. That is everything.